1 minute, 18 seconds. I remember that
Yes,
one.
I remember that.
Remember that one?
Yes, I do, but I have a lot of questions.
For tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I don't. We ain't beating 1 minute, 18 seconds, and it still ain't gonna be longer than 10 minutes, so we're good.
I really
Ready to go.
Oh, we got it here, 18 too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real quick too. Yeah.
Don't get used to it.
Everybody all set? You girls okay? Welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for September 1st, 2020. I'm Brian Rudy, the mayor. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Rudy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Spear.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Neal.
Present.
Councilmember Castle.
Here.
Councilmember Mortensen.
Here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item that is not on the agenda this evening? Okay. Is there anyone virtually?
No.
Nope, thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
Thank you.
I move to approve the agenda.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 6, consent agenda. Item A, approval of the August 18th, 2020 City Council meeting minutes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 7, new business. Item A, consideration of a pavement patching contract change order. We'll hear from staff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, members of the council. This item tonight really reconciles plans the council has made and talked about over the past, really happened in the spring with the actual contract that was awarded prior to some of those subsequent discussions about how much work we wanted to do. So council may recall that we originally had $400,000 budgeted of $850,000 for asphalt patching. Council subsequently budgeted additional funds for the overall pavement management program. $100,000 of that was for asphalt patches. So the total contract amount that we subsequently allowed was $500,000. And we come to you tonight with a request for a change order on that contract for an amount just over $525,000. There was some additional, like you've seen on other projects now, some base work and some additional work that could be done in a couple areas to make those repairs last longer. I gave our staff direction that we would recommend to the council that we take the additional $25,000 for that approval. So we're $25,000 over the $500,000, which is the amount that we are asking you to consider tonight. Change order amount, the difference between the original and the final contract was $329,542.64. I will point out that the additional funding council directed toward asphalt patching and the very favorable bids that we got for this project enabled us to, instead of do 70 patches, which was the original project, we did 239 patches throughout lots of different neighborhoods. So these are asphalt patches that had to be done, were really important to extend the life of our streets in advance of what will likely be a surface treatment over the next couple years. So just to connect how we've talked about the sequence of that works. I'll also mention that a good portion of that additional funding went to 5 what we call skin patches, those larger mini overlays that you saw on 37th Street that I think have gone a long way toward improving some of the worst pothole areas that we have. So with that, Mayor, we recommend consideration of this change order in the amount of $329,542.64.
Thank you.
That concludes our remarks.
Questions of staff or comments? Anyone?
I have none.
Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the change order for the 2020 asphalt patch project contract to Colorado Paving Inc. and to authorize the city manager's signature on the change order in the amount of $329,542.64.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the change order for the 2020 asphalt patch project contract to Colorado Paving Inc. and to authorize the city manager's signature on the change order in the amount of $329,542.64. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 8, report, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things tonight. I want to highlight that we have lots of road work going on with more anticipated start in the next couple days. We also have been able to complete some of the traffic improvements that had been planned for the year, including the signal cameras along 37th Avenue, which have been, the cameras have actually been replaced, which has improved the flow and timing of traffic on 37th Street. I'll also mention that on 11th Avenue at 31st and 32nd, we have completed the restriping and the signal changes there that now have a designated left turn lane, the right turn and through lanes there that had been the subject of some conversation. So those are all but completed. I believe they're just timing the signals and finalizing that. And then, Council, I'd also like to highlight, we don't often talk about recreation, and they've had an awfully rough year, but I want to just mention that our staff continues to work hard to field questions, make our facilities safe, work with people who are coming in to work out, and mention that our staff met with the fall sports coaches, which is great. We still have volunteers for that, and practices for soccer, flag football, and volleyball begin on Monday, so we do have kids exercising again. We have almost 200 children signed up for sports, so I think that's a good number to know, so that the demand is still there despite COVID. And I noted that our staff partnered with Green Earth Commercial Sanitization to provide each player with a bottle of hand sanitizer. Toaster. No, I'm just kidding. And then staff also met with the police department to see if there's a way that we can safely combine Halloween events this year to still have some celebration as we have in the past. So lots of work happening, although it is admittedly at a lower level and very difficult this year. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. City Attorney.
You know, I'll keep it short so we can keep the meeting short. We're just doing more and more of the same stuff that we keep thinking will slow down. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item? Is there anyone online? Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned. We'll go straight into our Urban Renewal Authority meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Rudy.
The chair.
Excuse me, Chair Rudy.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Clark.
Here.
Commissioners.
Commissioner Spear. Here. Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Neal.
Present.
Commissioner Castle.
Here.
Commissioner Mortensen.
Here, thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agenda.
Motion is second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 4, consent agenda. Approval of the May 5th, 2020 Evans Redevelopment Agency meeting minutes.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 5, old business. Item A, consideration of RFQ for ERA development. We'll hear from staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The redevelopment of the southwest corner of Highway 85 and 31st Street has long been a goal for this commission. And tonight we want to talk about a process that we think it's time to move forward with, a process to secure a development partner to help us do that. I want to spend just a moment. It's hard to talk about the redevelopment agency projects without talking about what's happening at our other site that our commission may be wondering about. The short update on that project, which we call Randy's Diner, the southeast corner of the same intersection, our development partner has had very positive intentions and commitments, actually, verbal commitments from a couple different users for the site. And this month, their plan was to try to secure agreements from them for the development of the site. The next step would then be for our development partner, Rich Hobbs and Alex, what's Alex's last name? Spiris, to come back to us and talk about their agreement or development agreement with the city. So we look forward to that happening probably during late September and October. So that we hope to have a real project to present back to the council within a couple months. So that's that project. We can set that one aside for a moment because council may recall that we had planned to move forward with a request for qualifications for a development partner for the southwest corner, what we call Esch's Market informally, just for orientation there. Plan to move forward with that early in the spring. Of course, COVID-19 happened, and we introduced a whole lot more development uncertainty to that corner. So we pulled back on that temporarily. What we hear from Allison's contacts in the development community and our retail consultant is that developers who do these kinds of projects are out there. This could be a good time for investment, for capturing investment. So we think it is the appropriate time to attempt to secure that development partner. So we have in front of you for your consideration just the request for developer qualifications, the RFQ, that would be what we released to the market. We want you to see that. Mostly, council, we want to reaffirm your direction. The makeup of the commission has changed a little bit, but the commission may recall that a couple of years ago we had an extensive analysis of the development opportunities on the corner. At that point, with a consultant's assistance, we determined that probably large-scale retail was not likely to develop at this corner, but it's more likely to be some neighborhood-serving retail and more residential development that would help us to kind of get even more critical mass near that corner with the verge to support some retail that could happen on the corner and also serve the eastern side of Evans. So at that time, that was the general vision for some retail on the corner and some high-quality residential throughout the rest of the site. That is what is characterized as the agency's vision in the RFQ. So we want to check that out with you, and I will ask our economic development manager at this point, Allison Moding, to just give an overview of what the RFQ includes and the timing and when we'll be back in front of you.
As Jim mentioned, this is a mixed-use project today as we're looking at it. We think it will be driven primarily by multifamily development and then some retail or other kind of light commercial type uses that will support folks that are living in those, whether it's apartments or duplexes. It'll be interesting to see what the housing market has to say for this site. adjacent to the verge, great highway access, so I'd be really excited to see what will be coming out of that. But our plan is to have a much broader distribution of this than we have with our Randy's Diner site, because this is kind of a two-piece. You've got the residential developers and then also someone that has some real estate retail experience. This is a little bit different, so we're going to let probably about 6 weeks really this RFQ out to circulate, leaning on some of our contacts in the commercial real estate. Not just maybe northern Colorado. This is a project that I think could appeal to developers in Denver and also regionally throughout the west part of the country. So I definitely want to give this one some time. So our hope is to get it out on the street this week, and then hopefully at some point late October come back to you, late October, early November come back to you. Any other questions? Do you have anything else to add?
Can't think of anything. That concludes our presentation.
Yeah, thanks. Questions of staff, comments?
No, I'm actually looking forward to hopefully getting a developer out there. My position on the property hasn't changed. I already know it's not going to be a full retail site, but I definitely like the idea that we're going to go for at least try to get a little bit of retail and maybe do like a mixed residential. I think that's the best use for that land from what I see in the future. Still in favor of it.
Other comments or questions? Councilmember Neal?
Well, I've been, was real impressed with the developer that was picked for the Randy's site. So I'm hoping that we get a lot of very competitive qualifications people on this site, and hopefully they'll come up with something that will give us some good retail there. I really would like to push for more retail at that site, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Neal. Commissioner Spear?
I guess I'm just a little disappointed that we're looking at housing there. You know, I just wish that we would have the capabilities of having more retail, maybe some restaurants and, you know, some things like that. So, you know, whatever we can get developed, I guess, is better than a barren lot. So we'll go with what we can convince to construct there.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you, guys.
No.
Meeting adjourned.